What's wrong with you? I ask you this because that is the question I kept asking myself. How many of you have ever felt depressed, like you couldn't get out of bed, like you felt there was a 30-pound weight on your chest and a boa constrictor around your neck? You could barely breathe. How many of you have ever felt crippling anxiety, rumination, thoughts stuck on a hamster wheel, the same sad, angry, hopeless tornado of thoughts on repeat? Okay, you thought about the crappy scenario once, twice, 20 times, 75 times, till your thoughts were spinning on their own. Or maybe you felt anxiety in your chest. The tornado made your heart pound so hard you felt like you were having an attack. Has anyone ever experienced that? For some, you may have thought you were going to die. How many of you know somebody? Because of course, none of this has ever happened to any of us, to me or you, right? Someone who is exhausted all the time, despite really taking care of herself, eating organic salads and taking expensive supplements. How many of you have caught a glimpse of your reflection in a mirror and whispered, "Doesn't anyone see how terrible I feel?" You think, or we think, that anxiety looks like a crestfallen face, shaking hands, the too skinny, unemployed girl in the corner, but really, you look in the mirror and you know it's you. How many of you would be shocked if I told you this is the face of someone who had terrible anxiety? This is what most people saw. I'm going to tell you about this woman. She's a frickin' supermodel. She's tall, she's slim, she's jet-setting around the globe, having her picture taken by world-famous photographers. Her face is on the covers and inside of top magazines around the world, like Vogue, Elle, Marie Claire, Self, Bazaar, and buttloads more. Revlon, sure. Maybelline, yep. L'Oreal, check. Gucci, yep. Nightclubs in Madrid arrange complimentary, lavish dinner parties for her and her friends. One broadcast on a digital signboard, Joy Slava welcomes Susan Miner to Madrid. Drinks? Forget it, they're free. She struts to the front of the line in New York City and gets her and 5 guy friends into the best clubs for free. And oh yeah, this is after hailing a cab with her picture on top of it and driving under a massive billboard of her as well. And all because her exterior apparently fit the definition of what is beautiful. But her life inside was anything but pretty. Now I'm going to tell you what was actually going on. The same person would lie awake at night. Okay, it's me. I would lie awake at night, some nights after a night terror, be nervous about going back to sleep, lose sleep, be tired during the day, be this close to crying at any moment, fear bedtime, have insomnia, be reluctant to face my day, overeat the wrong foods, feel fat, feel disgusted with myself, be mean to myself in my head, draw in another boyfriend, overgive, get more drained, drink alcohol, and do drugs to try to feel happy, suffer with a hangover, be even more on edge, worry about how I'd get through work, no sleep, reach for comfort food, call myself a pig, hate myself. A vicious cycle. If the photographer's cameras could have captured what was going on inside me, those pictures would have been the cover of a magazine in hell. What was going on inside of me was nothing short of self-hatred. I was constantly sad and depressed. My mind was riddled with anxiety. I would look in the mirror with my supermodel face and slap it. Yes, that crazy. So, for all of you out there who literally don't know how to ask for help because everyone around you is so bought into the myth of your perfect life that they would shame you for having first world problems, this is for you. They'd ask, "What's wrong with you?" Just like I'd ask myself the same question, what's wrong with me? Why on earth do I feel this with all I have and with all my accomplishments? But anxiety is not logical. So when you're high functioning and anxious or depressed, I wonder if it's almost worse for you because no one will even believe that there's anything wrong. Because it doesn't make sense. You don't know how to seek help because you don't have the answer to the question, what is wrong with me? You can't even understand it, and you may even feel ashamed. You know some people who have actually fallen apart. Like they don't have the energy to get out of bed, so they don't, but you'll get out of bed. Your mind's chatting away and your body is screaming in different ways, but you'll cover it up with caffeine, slap on some MAC makeup, or pop some sugar, because that's what's going to power you through the day. I get it. You know, before, the only reason I shared the way I felt is so you'll know that even though my life looked magnificent and beautiful from the outside, it never erased the ugliness and pain I felt on the inside. All those outer accoutrements didn't help how I felt. The truth is, until I figured out how to fix my thoughts and emotions and calm down my body, there was nothing external that could make me feel calm or just plain okay for 5 minutes. Nothing that gave me any sense of peace. For me to have real happiness and real peace, I had to take a healing journey from the inside out. This is why I'm compelled to reach out to women who seemingly have it all together, but are falling apart inside. I was one of them, and I'm walking, breathing proof that the combination of emotional and energy techniques work. You know, I still get rattled by challenges and problems, you know, like any other human, but it doesn't color my entire perspective. So I am reaching out to seemingly together women who are actually drowning in anxiety to tell them they can have a joyous life without medication. So all of you, undercover, anxiety-ridden women, I know that it seems impossible, but it is possible for you to have a joyous life. We need to work through the body because anxiety cannot be fixed in the mind. The mind is the problem. By calming the body in a deliberate order, we can build a solid foundation first and then rebuild from there. Just like physical exercise, you get into emotional shape one step at a time. I imagine you're introspective, brave, spiritually focused, strong, not feeling it now, but deep down really are, and loving, because you are. I've been working 20 plus years as a therapist. It is my understanding that to truly collapse time and get relief now, it's important to address all of you. This is how and why I went from being a highly anxious mess to a person centered and in my power. What I really want to leave you with is permission. Permission to act in your own best interest, even if you think you should just be able to get over it yourself and get on with it. Permission to love yourself. To love yourself enough to not put off seeking the life you most desire, the peace-filled, beautiful one where you are in control, not your anxious mind. So you must be wondering or screaming in your mind, what do I do now? In this one conversation, we can't cover the advanced techniques or even the systematic order of exercises or psychological modalities, but we can begin to discover exactly what is holding you back from having the peaceful, confident life you crave, the one free from anxiety. So now I'm going to lay out 2 erroneous beliefs here quickly. Let me know if you recognize and see the value in revealing them. I've outlined several more and all in greater depth in my free exclusive training video. Anyone who can do a search on the internet can find it. But for now, we'll start with becoming clear on 2 erroneous beliefs that need to change. Okay, haven't you noticed that in order to dismantle any challenge, you need to go to the roots and pull out the erroneous beliefs that are keeping you rooted in the challenge? Erroneous belief number 1. You see anxiety as a weakness, but really it's your strength. Anxiety is sensitivity. You think you are weak because anxiety overtakes you, but you're actually strong because of all you accomplish despite the anxiety. Okay, for the sake of keeping it short, I will share only one more, like I said. Man, oh man, we could delve into this stuff for hours. It's such deep-rooted stuff, but here we go. Erroneous belief number 2. You think you're not generous enough because you are wrapped in your own problems. But the real truth is you're being generous to everyone else first, which is sapping the life out of you. Back to the permission aspect of this message. You certainly don't need my permission, but I'll offer it anyway. I give you permission to stop seeing yourself as weak, and for goodness sake, to stop allowing your life energy from being drained by taking care of everyone else first. Don't put off your emotional well-being. Maybe it's just like 100 other things you said you'd do that never got done. I know, I have the list. God, the list. You know the one that you keep adding to but can't face because you're too anxious. But you are the first thing that needs to be put on the list. Your emotional well-being is the entire crux of your life. It governs how you experience everything, your families, your friends, your career, your body, everything. If you take one thing from my message, it's this. Your emotional well-being is the entire crux of your life. You are the first thing that needs to be put on your list. I want to leave you with a few stories from women just like you. So a young woman rewrote her story. She started with, I'm an anxious person, but then became more at peace. She said, I am sensitive, loving, caring, and strong. If I've made it this far with this anxiety sitting on me, imagine how strong I am. That's a major realization. So another woman figured out she was drowning under a list of shoulds. I should stop by my mom's. I should send the teacher a thank you note. I should take a walk. I should clean the bathrooms. I should do the network meeting tonight. She saw how this kept her at her wit's end. She said, wow, now I could actually choose to do things that feel so much better. Are you ready to look at how strong you are? Remember, anxiety is sensitivity run amok, but your sensitivity is a major strength. This perspective shift and strength are just waiting for you to claim them and start you on your way to a life of inner peace and joy.